Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a regular stated meeting, March 2nd, 2015, of the Morganton City Council. We will now resume our business for the evening. At this time, I'd like to call on our council member, Forrest Fleming, to lead us with our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated, please.
Our invocation tonight is going to be given by the Reverend Mary Miller Zurell, interim pastor at the Calvary Lutheran Church. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It is an honor and a blessing for me to be here, and I invite you now to pray with me. Holy One, first we come before you with thanksgiving for our mayor and councilmen, managers and lawyers, administrative support and counselors, for the safety personnel, both two-legged and four-legged, of Morganton, for all who work and live and participate in Morganton life. Holy One, you know our thoughts and our hearts, our words and our acts, our motivations better than we do. We thank you for the things that have been accomplished here in Morganton, for the city safety record, for good water, for having a Park of the Year in 2014, and for countless other wonderful things. We come tonight asking for your help and your guidance for our challenges, the economic ones, infrastructure, and ones that are known to those gathered here. We ask that where we are in error, that you would forgive and teach us. Where we are between rocks and hard places, that you would give us your presence and your guidance. Where we feel beleaguered, encourage us. Where we are right, confirm our decisions. Open our eyes to the beauty around us, as well as to areas needing improvement. Open our ears to the praise we receive, as well as the cries that are too often ignored. Open our hands to serve. Enliven our imagination, particularly during this coming spring, to new thoughts and new possibilities. Open our hearts to joy, as well as to sharing the sorrow of those in need, and give us the strength to do something about it. These things, as well as all else you know that we need, the things that we need in our personal lives, the things that lay so deeply in our hearts that they are mere groans. All of these things, our joys and our challenges, we pray knowing that you care for us and love us dearly. Amen.
Pastor, very appropriate prayer. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
How long have you been an interim over at Calvary Lutheran?
Just since August 1st.
August 1st. Mm-hmm. How long do you think you'll be?
Oh, it's unknown. I'm thinking probably sometime this summer.
I'll ask you a leading question. Have you noticed how beautiful our community is?
Absolutely. I think Morganton is a marvelous place. I've enjoyed exploring it and shopping in it and getting to know folks. And I particularly am impressed with our public safety, with the Baltimore, not Baltimore, that's where I came from. The Burke County, the Burke United Ministries.
Ministers.
Yes, and just so many other things here. If I didn't live in Hickory already, I'd certainly like to live here.
Well, you can't help that part of it. Thank you again for being with us.
You're most welcome, and blessings on your meeting tonight.
Thank you a lot.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Okay, introduction of our city council. On my far right is Ronnie Thompson, city councilman, Forrest Fleming, city councilman, Louis Vini is our city attorney, I'm Mel Cohen, your mayor, Sally Sandy, our city manager, Sidney Simmons, city councilman, John Cantrell, city councilman, Kelly Russell, our recording secretary, and Becky Brinkley is interpreting for our deaf community. Public advocacy issues and strategies. First, I want to mention that we are having a Main Street conference in Morganton. Well over 400 participants will be in our downtown and around Morganton from all over the state of North Carolina. It's March 18, 19, and 20. I hope all of our city council members will partake of some of the meetings, and some of our staff members and all, because it'll be a big day in this community, big 3 days, and we're here to shine, and I'm sure it will before that ends on Friday midday. Peter and the Starcatcher, Monday, March 9th, 7:30. Rhythm of the Dance, Saturday, March 14th, 7:30. Back to Barry, Billy, and Beatles, Tuesday, March 31. Michael Chapmen, one of our own staff members, just received, Michael, if you'll come to the podium, just received his certification at the greatest little town in North Carolina, Chapel Hill, little town. Carolina Association of Governmental Purchasing for Joseph Michael Chapmen. I think it's a great honor. I don't think we've had anybody do that in the past. Congratulations. And you're welcome to say anything about the great Chapel Hill if you want.
No pressure.
It is quite amazing.
Thank you, Michael. Okay. Ed Phillips, Director of Burke County Travel and Tourism. Tourism update. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait 1 second, Ed. Can you gear down a second?
Yeah.
One of our own also is becoming the president of, I can find it, Sally.
North Carolina City County Managers Association.
North Carolina City County Managers Association. Yeah, here it is. Scott Hildebrand. Scott, congratulations on your new position. And if you have a good executive director, you won't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Remember? You know how it is. You know how it works. Anyway, I want to congratulate you. A great honor for Morganton and a great honor for you. Thank you very much for participating. Okay, Edward.
Well, good evening. Here once again, I try to come here every February or March and talk about what's going on with tourism in Burke County. And tonight I have the 2015 Tourism Economy Report. And this is really looking back at the year 2014. To go back with a little bit of history, our Tourism Development Authority was created in 2007. I have a 9-member board of directors, and we're funded by a 6% tax added to hotel, motel, and other lodging bills in Burke County. Our budget for the current fiscal year is $345,000, and out of that, Morganton and Valdez receive a portion of that for marketing, advertising, public relations. Our budget this year is about $80,000 for Morganton and $42,550 for Valdez. So we have several objectives to increase the occupancy tax revenue in Burke County, increase visitation to the Burke County Visitor Center, increase numbers of visitors to Burke County, create new jobs directly and indirectly related to tourism, and share more information with the community like I'm doing this evening. We've had great success in the last few years. In 2013, Burke County had the largest percentage of tourism-related job growth in the entire state. We were up 5.8%. We had the second largest percentage of visitor spending increase in North Carolina, with a total of $86.6 million spent in Burke County. These numbers come from the North Carolina Department of Commerce. We also had Lake James State Park in 2014 was named our State Park of the Year, and our occupancy tax revenue increased last year by 13%. We have several strategies that we use to market, including print advertising, social media campaigns, including Facebook and Twitter, press releases and media tours. And here's also a sample of some print advertising we've used in the past. Looking at our great outdoors. Also our wine trail. We've also had some billboards, including this billboard, which went up in October, featuring fall color reports, and these were updated daily and sent out to media all across the Southeast. Sometimes billboards and advertising campaigns are difficult to measure, but I want to show you something very interesting. The day that we released this campaign, you see that spike? That was our web traffic. It went up 400%. And those people were coming to our Discover Burke County website to get fall color reports. So it was a very successful campaign throughout the fall color season. We've also used other billboards, including marketing the Pisgah National Forest and Lake James. Our public relations efforts, which have been very successful for us, includes news releases, media tours. I'll talk a little bit more about a media tour in a moment. Media requests. People call us and say, hey, we need some information on something in Burke County, whether it's an attraction or a state park or an event. And we send out news releases about various things that are of importance going on in the county. Also, a couple of things I bet you didn't know. Some of you probably will. Most of you probably here tonight will know. We have the deepest gorge east of the Rockies, the Linville Gorge, the largest state park in North Carolina, South Mountains, the 2014 State Park of the Year at Lake James. And we're also the only county in North Carolina with 2 state parks. We also have the second oldest outdoor drama in North Carolina from this day forward, which showcases every summer for 6 weeks in Valdez. This is a photograph of a media tour we had back in October. It was the first time we've done a media tour in the peak fall color season. This was shot up at Linville Falls. And media requests, which was, this was a TV station out of Johnson City, Tennessee, that we hiked up Table Rock to do a special on Table Rock and the Brown Mountain Lights. So out of all of this, the advertising, the public relations, here's some of the results. We had 2,690 visitors at our visitor center in 2014. We had $1.2 million in public relations earned media. That is, if articles had a value dollars, if you had to buy that space as an ad, we spent about $20,000 and got $1.2 million as a return on that investment. And there's more to that. 40 plus newspaper and magazine articles covering Burke County. This is a shot of the visitor center, which is at 110 East Meeting Street. For those watching at home, send your folks down here. Come down and pick up information about the area. We have all kinds. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. The Hunger Games is still a very popular attraction. People come still from all over the country and all over the world to visit the site where it was filmed. This is a Girl Scout troop from Mooresville. So the earned media coverage, it included articles in Charlotte Magazine. Burke County was in Our State Magazine last year, four issues in a row. And Blue Ridge Outdoors, the readers of Blue Ridge Outdoors magazine named Morganton the #3 top town in the Southeast for outdoor recreation out of 36 towns. And also a national publication of government employees, and recreation.gov covered an article from a media tour that was here, and they wrote about the Jawara and the importance of that to our nation. Also, the Charlotte Observer picked up our fall color reports and ran in the fall and winter guide this photo, which was taken at Wiseman's View in Burke County. Between 2010 and 2014, we created, or counted, not created, counted 1,062 new jobs, and I was told recently that that number has increased significantly since then, and it goes up every month. We have over $44 million in new capital investment in tourism, attractions, retail, restaurants, including things like Silver Fork, Chick-fil-A. Thank goodness they're back open. Everybody loves that. Beanstalk Journey Zipline, My Local Bakery, Patterson's Amish Furniture, very successful retail. 80% of their business is from outside of the county and outside of North Carolina. Old Country Store, which is upstairs over Morganton Feed and Seed. And Applebee's. I know a lot of you were there the first week. Applebee's here had the best first week of any Applebee's, I think in the Southeast, maybe even in the country.
Olive chain.
It was a really good week for them. Visitor events, we have a lot of things that bring people here, including the Peak to Creek Marathon in October, Red, White, and Bluegrass Festival, youth sporting events, bridge tournaments, the GNCC race at Steel Creek Park, which is this month, last weekend of the month, the Jawara Open House, the festival in Morganton, and the Waldensian Festival. We also produce publications including the Most Unusual Yet Official Morganton Trail Guide, the Table Rock Brochure, Linville Gorge, Lake James, Fun Things to Do with Girlfriends, which is all about wine.
Okay.
Publicly owned attractions, Lake James and South Mountain State Parks, Pisgah National Forest, Linville Gorge, Linville Falls, Catawba Meadows, Catawba River Greenway, and the Blue Ridge Parkway, all very popular. Also privately owned, we have 5 wineries, vineyards, and 2 craft breweries with tasting rooms, Apple Hill Orchard, the Drama, the Beanstalk Journey Zipline, Steel Creek Park Campground, Trail of Faith, Festival of Lights, and the Jonas Ridge Snow Tubing. A few weeks ago, Jonas Ridge Snow Tubing did 1,100 tubers one day. It's one of the most popular tubing areas in North Carolina.
Parked all along 181, Ed,
Yeah,
all along.
yeah. We also go out, and this is a tent we have. We go out to festivals and we promote the county, hand out brochures, and talk to people about Morganton and Burke County. So a couple of things significant we see now is a lot of relocating couples and families to the area. Also, weekend visitor increases in the summertime. This year we have new projects include publishing an art gallery guide and studio guide that are open to the public. We're also going to add weekly website updates and a relocation page on our website, monthly tourism report, and also consumer newsletter that will go out to folks who request that through our website. And again, like I'm here today, speaking to civic groups and government organizations, talking about supporting and developing new tourism businesses and effectively track tourism's impact on Burke County. And this is our board. We have 9 members. Polly Ledbetter could not be here tonight. She's our chair, but I know Sharon Jablonski's here from the city, and other attraction folks and accommodation folks from across the county. I didn't include it in the packet because I just found out about it yesterday, but this Charlotte Observer in Sunday's paper had a great story on Explore History in Burke County in the travel section. And this came about from our media tour we had last June. And so the media tours, even though it takes some time to recover, those articles, they do happen. And I can tell you that the writers that come here absolutely love our museum. They love the history of Burke County. And I will mention up front now, starting in, I believe, April, the History Museum is going to have an exhibit on Watergate. And if you haven't seen that, it is fabulous. And we're going to be doing a lot of promotion of that. Sam Irvin, our hometown, just a country lawyer, is going to be showcased in that and his influence over the Nixon impeachment. We have arrived as a tourism destination. Morganton has, Burke County has. I'll say this over and over, and if you spend a weekend, Saturday afternoon in Morganton, you will see a lot of out-of-town plates, out-of-state folks. If you go in restaurants, you see it. We actually have had some restaurants that have been overwhelmed with visitors on Saturday nights in downtown Morganton, and they blame me, and I accept it. I'll be happy to answer any questions, Mayor, Council.
Ed, we know you do a great job.
Thank you.
Maybe your member that's still in here tonight, probably take it back to the board and get you a big raise.
Mayor, one question. I know Ed's been using Nature's Playground. Has that been real effective for advertising for us?
Well, we use that logo, and the city uses a logo, and it's a campaign that we've used to capture the interest of outdoor folks. And I mean, we could use lots of different things, whether it's wine or outdoors, but we've selected to use Nature's Playground. And I will also tell you that there's a new outfitter coming to town called Hike More Adventures, and these 2 guys are the only certified wilderness guides that are allowed into the Linville Gorge by the U.S. Forest Service. And they're going to set up shop in Morganton here within the next month or so. They've met with us. They've met with Sharon. We've given them some grant money to help them get further started here. They're going to be leading hikes into the gorge. They just did a photography seminar this past Saturday in the Linville Gorge. The Saturday before that, in the snow, they did an introduction to backpacking. They're bringing folks in from all over, And these guys are really enthusiastic. They're going to make a name here and locate here in Morganton. And it's really the first, they're not a retailer. They're not selling anything except their guide services. So they'll be using lots of local vendors for sack lunches. If you need hiking boots, go to CBS Sports or Dick's or, whatever. And we're real excited to have those here. So yeah, I would say to answer your question, Nature's Playground has been very successful for us.
Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it. Angie Ross, would you come to the podium? I'll tell you a little something about Angie in a few minutes, but I want to read a Meals on Wheels March for Meals Month 2015, a proclamation. Whereas on March 22, 1972, President Richard Nixon signed into law a measure that amended the Older Americans Act of 1965 and established a national nutrition program for seniors 60 years and older. Whereas the Meals on Wheels Association of America established the National March for Meals campaign in March 2002 to recognize the historic month. The importance of an Older Americans Act senior nutrition program and raise awareness about senior hunger in America. Whereas the 2015 observance of the March for Meals campaign provides an opportunity to support senior nutrition programs that deliver vital and critical services by donating, volunteering, and raising awareness about senior hunger. Whereas senior nutrition programs in Burke County have served our communities admirably for 41 years. And whereas volunteer drivers for Meals on Wheels program in Burke County are the backbone of the program, and they not only deliver nutritious meals to homebound seniors and individuals with disabilities, but also caring concern and attention to their welfare. And whereas senior nutrition programs in Burke County provide nutritious meals to seniors throughout the state and help them to avoid premature or unnecessary institutionalization. Whereas senior nutrition programs in Burke County provide a powerful socialization opportunity for millions of seniors to help combat loneliness and isolation. Whereas senior nutrition programs in Burke County deserve recognition for the contributions they have made and will continue to make to local communities, our state, and our nation. And now, therefore, I, Mel Cohen, Mayor of the City of Morganton, North Carolina, do hereby proclaim March 2015 as March for Meals Month. I urge every citizen to take time this month to honor our senior nutrition programs, the seniors they serve, and the volunteers who care them. Our recognition and involvement of the National 2015 March for Meals campaign can enrich our entire community and help end senior hunger in Burke County, so no senior goes hungry. Dated this the second day of March 2015, Mel Cohen, Mayor, Sally Sandy, City Clerk, in the form of a motion, guys.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Angie is a young lady that is over the nutrition program, Meals on Wheels, all over Burke County. And she was there today when I went and worked with a couple that, and I have to back up a little bit. This couple came from 30 miles away from Boston, called me because Ed Phillips's office, it wasn't Ed, but it was somebody forerunner to Ed, told them that the mayor was going to call them. I called them, and it's been several years ago now. They reminded me of it, and I remember. They moved to this community because they didn't want to go to Florida in the heat, and they didn't surely want to stay up in Boston area, which is 30 minutes from Boston. And they love this community, love everything about this community, and they volunteer for you and love every second of that. And I will tell you that I learned more today with 11 or so, 12 recipients of the nutrition program. It was absolutely one of the highlight of my mayoral terms. I mean that sincerely. And because you are a stickler for fine points, they tell me that, that you make sure everything works like clockwork. And I know when the volunteers don't show up, you have to go out and run that route. But I will be doing it with you often during the next weeks and months, and okay, because I enjoyed it thoroughly. The last person we went to, Angie, was, and I think I've mentioned it to you, and the council didn't know, was a driver for Etta Baker. And when I went into the house and I saw Etta's picture on the wall, he told us that he was the driver and loved her. I mean, it was just like a family member, and that's what he did for her. And he's been in Burke County all his life, But I must tell you that it was a joyous time for me, and it's because of you, and you're working the same thing.
Thank you. This is the first year that Burke County has taken part in the March for Meals on Wheels, and we serve 110 seniors Monday through Friday throughout the county. We have 12 routes that go from Morganton all the way down to Hildebrand and George Hildebrand. And we provide not only a hot, nutritious lunch for them, but we also provide a smile, and we're also providing a safety check on them daily. So we're able to check on the seniors, and we're able to make sure that they get a 1/3 of their nutritious caloric intake that they need daily, as well as giving them a safety check every day. And so I would invite each of you to come out and be a community champion along with Mayor Mel to go out and deliver meals throughout the county.
Anyone have any questions of her? It's very easy. Angie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
God bless what you do.
Thank
Mean
you.
this sincerely. Thank you.
Thank you.
She even took a picture of the gentleman, Etta Baker's friend. Okay, North Carolina Municipal Power Agency #1, Sally.
Have a rate committee meeting this Thursday, and Brooks and Dan will be attending that, and that is the continued discussion for the agency to set what's going to happen to our wholesale power rates, so we'll know how to plan for budget.
Consent agenda, Sally.
Consent agenda tonight actually includes 7 individual items, and the staff considers those to be non-controversial. Would ask that you consider approving them in one motion, unless a member of the council or someone would like an item discussed separately. For those of you viewing at home, that includes minutes from the February 2nd meeting, tax releases in the amount of $1,640.06, revisions to the standards and specifications for water lines with regard to fire hydrant spacing, and then also minor revisions and standard specifications for water lines, sewer lines, construction materials used in that. Those are 2 things we do annually. Another item, consideration of participation in the 2015-2016 Urban Archery season. That would be a renewal from what we had done this year. Budget amendment to appropriate receipt of funds for 2 insurance payments that we have received for vehicle accidents. And those are the items.
Move to accept the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion, second, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, new business, consideration of a resolution to apply for a rural center building reuse and restoration development grant for American Hospitality Furniture LLC, Sally.
The city has been working with a client that is interested in starting up a furniture business here. We've been doing that in conjunction with Burke County and BDI. The client is American Hospitality Furniture LLC, and it is a business looking to reuse the old Drexel 60 plant. That's what we call it. And wanting to start up and do a hospitality furniture business there. The gentleman who is looking to do this has been in this business for decades and has taken a look at what it would take to start that up. He is looking at hiring around 70 jobs in the initial startup of that. 17 of those would be pledged as support for this grant. Requesting a $212,500 grant. This is the reuse program that we have used several times before for existing business and then to reuse vacant buildings. There's a 5% local match, $10,625. That would be split between the city and the county. And he would hire the 17 jobs in order to get the grant money. In order to get the grant money, he has to spend an equal amount of that on the allowed rehabilitation of the building. We would like to apply. Application is due next week. The Department of Commerce Rural Division would then act on that. We would know if that gets funded and be approved in April, and they would actually begin to fund the grant in the month of May. If all of this happens, and there's several items we're going to talk about tonight as he's looking to start up the business, he would start work sometime around June or July to get the plant up and running.
Great economic development news, by the way, and using an existing building. What are your wishes, council?
I move we approve the resolution authorizing the city of Morganton to make application to the NC Rural Center Building Reuse and Restoration Grants Program for American Hospitality Furniture LLC.
May I make one correction to that? Because we're so used to it being the Rural Center, and they don't even exist anymore. It's actually the North Carolina Department of Commerce Building Reuse and Restoration Grants Program.
Second to motion.
Okay, motion second. Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Consideration of entering into a CDBG small business loan agreement with American Hospitality Furniture LLC for the purpose of opening a new furniture manufacturing facility at 410 Hogan Street. Sally?
This is part two. This is the same project that we just discussed, and one of the things that the project can qualify for is one of the loans through our CDBG Small Business Loan Program, because it's going to be 10 new jobs or more that fit the criteria, eligible to apply for $75,000 as per your rules in that program. Again, he's looking to generate $3 to $4 million a year in annual sales. He's been doing this for decades. He currently partners with a manufacturer in Bogota, Colombia, to bring in some parts. He's been working with a company in Tennessee for several years. He has purchasing relationships with Parker International and several of the national purchasing companies that do purchasing for large hotel chains. He has worked with Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton, Millennium, also works with some that are a little bit lesser than those 5 stars. So he has a broad range. He is looking to do the CDBG loan, the building reuse grant, also working with a bank for an SBA loan, and then investing $500,000 of his own funds in order to make the project work.
I move to enter into a $75,000 CDGB loan agreement with American Hospitality Furniture LLC for the purpose of opening a new furniture manufacturing facility at 410 Hogan Street.
Second.
Motion second. Discussion?
This CDBG loan program, isn't part of this forgiven for good payment history in the first few years?
After 5 years, isn't it, Lee?
Yes.
And Lee's here to answer the details,
Great.
which is the jobs and all that, and make the payments in those 5 years.
Right.
I think it's very interesting to note that as all of us from time to time get asked questions as to what we are doing in relation to bringing new jobs into the city and into the county, I think this is a very good example of that. Of course, we all know that there's a lot of competition out there for businesses, and it's not a free thing that we're able to do anymore, because it's a very competitive market, and for jobs and for new industry. I think we're very fortunate to use this as a good example, and I'm delighted to see the 65 or 70 jobs that we've got slated to come into the city and into Burke County.
And if you see, his 5-year business plan is attached there, and if all that comes to pass, then he's looking at ultimately, 130, 140, 150 jobs is what his goal would be. I think the interesting thing about this, and I do think it's a good thing too, he was looking to do this either here or in Martinsville, Virginia, and those were his 2 choices. And we've been working on this for quite some time now. This didn't just start last week, as you probably have guessed. He really wanted to be here, and he really wanted to be here because of the workforce, because he feels like the skill set that he can re-employ and have the least amount of training. Not only that, but his management team that's going to come from folks who have been laid off from years of working in the furniture industry here, but who also have adapted to some of the changes in the furniture industry, are why he thinks it will be successful here. And that's a good thing.
You worked for a time years ago in the contract division of Drexel. years ago. Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay. Consideration of a resolution adopting the Unifor Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan, Sally.
This is a plan. Lee is going to present to you the details that we are required to do as a part of how we would react to natural hazards, floods, tornadoes, severe winter storms, although we try not to have any of those. We just like to have the small ones.
Good evening, gentlemen. The City of Morganton has taken part in a regional effort to adopt a Unifor Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan. This will be a third plan that the city has proposed. This, the first year was on our own, first 5 years, and then the second 5 years we were partnered with Burke County. This 5-year session was with 27 jurisdictions throughout the Unifor. There was a private consultant hired, and the process basically, the North Carolina General Assembly in 2002 requires that you adopt a hazard mitigation plan in order to receive funds in case a disaster is declared in your area. And over the past 40 years, Burke County has been declared a major disaster area 10 different times. So we do receive funding from state and federal sources when those events do occur. It's basically a process where an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. There's a lot of folks involved in it from emergency services, but also from the planning world and from the building inspection side. Morganton is very well equipped to deal with natural hazards. We've been in the business of regulating for flood damage prevention for many years. Also, we've been involved in building code, inspection processes, subdivision approval processes to prevent or discourage folks from developing properties in hazardous areas, whether it's on steep slopes or in flood terrain. So really, this is a process that we're doing well. But it is an opportunity to let folks know that those hazards do occur in this area, whether it be flooding, which is the primary hazard that this area experiences. But we also, over the years, have experienced hurricanes and tropical storms. We've experienced tornadoes. We've experienced droughts and extreme heat conditions. All of these, if we have plans in place prior to those occurring, the damage and the issues with the occurrences are much less. Some of the things that we're doing right now that we are actively involved in is through the Water Resources Department and the maintenance of the water and sewer lines to protect those against stormwater infiltration, where we have discharges, illicit discharges out of those systems and flooding events. So protecting those systems and continuing to allocate capital resources to those protects water quality downstream and water quality of the river. Encouraging to continue to update our fire hazard restrictions for forest fires and things of that nature are also encouraged. Continuing with our education and awareness programs through our public information office, through our website, to educate folks about hazards that are potential in the community is also something that that the plan encourages. What we have tonight is a resolution to adopt that plan, and you will be doing that alongside other jurisdictions in the area.
Thank you, Lee.
I move we approve a resolution adopting the Unifor Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Second.
We have a motion, second. Discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Consideration of award of audit contract, Sally.
It is time again. It was 5 years ago when we bid our audit services. Time goes so quickly.
Like it was yesterday.
Does seem like it was yesterday. Karen has sent out proposals in sought bids for us, sent those to local accounting firms and some regional accounting firms. Bottom line, we received 2 proposals back. One from a local firm, which is Eric Bowman, CPA, who is our current auditor, and then one from a regional firm, which is Elliott Davis DeCosimo. The bids were $200 apart. Eric's bid was $30,200, and the Elliott Davis bid was $30,000. The Finance Committee is recommending awarding the 3-year contract to Eric Bowman, keeping the dollars local. And I might add to you that $30,200 is $500 less than the most recent audit that we just had completed. And Eric's here tonight, and Karen's here if you have any questions.
I move we award 3-year audit services contract to Eric Bowman, CPA, with the first year amount being $30,200.
Second.
Motion second, discussion.
Sally, does that, it's saying, in the motion, it says for the $30,200 for the first year. Could we assume that it's
Usually during the
more than
3-year
that the next
period.
2 years?
Yeah, usually during the 3-year period, there'll be a little bit of adjustment that based on how cost and requirements change for that. Nothing tremendous. Do you remember? I'm looking.
I think it's like $200.
Like $200 a year or something very insignificant.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. No other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Consideration of appointment by the mayor to the Morganton Housing Authority. I want to reappoint Tom Bland and Scott Carrico. Don't need a motion. And we have an extra item. Consideration of a resolution declaring as surplus the equipment at the former Motown Deli now held by the city. Sally.
You'll recall that we did a CDBG loan to Kenny Subs, which was doing business as Motown Deli. That business has since ceased to exist and has gone out of business. For the loan, we did take a security lien on equipment and stuff on the premises, and we are asking that you declare those surplus and give us permission to sell those, and which will help us to recoup part of those losses. And Michael Chapmen, with his new certification, has been busy trying to sell this stuff and deal with folks looking for restaurant equipment.
Make a motion to declare surplus all the former Motown Deli equipment subject to the city's lien and located at 305 East Union Street, Suite B120, and authorize sale of all of the equipment for the best possible price to one or more buyers as negotiated by city staff.
Second. Motion second, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Anything from the council? Main Street Convention coming up, conference.
And Town Hall Day is March the
18th.
18th. And we will have representation traveling to Raleigh to visit with the General Assembly.
Okay. Meeting adjourned. Good meeting.